Also, any trap that you would fall into, you'd have to wonder why they didn't use their time radar to know it was coming. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Space Battleship Yamato. We come back, as we normally do, with notes and comments. No board changelog. Nothing changed on the board. No reason to go over it. Because, I mean, technically, I guess if I was doing this in a multi-seasonal single board sort of thing, where I might have left Dessler as marked dead, and I would come back with like the board changelog. That doesn't even make any sense. Dessler's been alive for a number of episodes now. He was introduced early on. This isn't a reveal. I guess it'd be a reveal if like we were from the perspective of the Yamato crew. But even then, last episode, it was Dessler telling them, "Hey, I'm alive." There's no world in which I have a changelog. So, yeah. That said, though, I do have some notes. It's funny that in the recap of last season, they showed the one that they showed last episode, when they showed Dessler being crushed under the ceiling falling under him, on top of him. I apologize. I'm probably going to leave this in so you know how stupid I am sometimes when I'm reading. They showed a clip that included a visual shock mark of the ceiling falling on him. Not just everything falling around him, but a comic book style bonk expression, like a boom and like a yellow lines, to let you know, without sound, that he'd been hit by the ceiling. The Yamato should have recruited many new crewmen, says Dessler. Why? I mean, it would explain the rookie, but the only people that got on the Yamato on Earth should have been the ones that the existing crew, that they contacted when they planned to sneak away with the Yamato. They shouldn't have been advertising for replacement people. At the same time, I guess Dessler just knows about what happened at Planet 11, given his obsession with the Yamato and his monitoring of the situation. By which I mean the space cavalry guys. He knows they're on board the ship. Dessler suggests that the crew should be homesick and that would be a source of fatigue for them. I mean, it's only been 50 days. Kodai just got back from a year-long deployment before this. Plus, this is the hardened crew that already went through all of this, not some wayward crew of cadets. But, gotta show us the rookie saying he wants to go home. Why did he even come? Whining about wanting to go home while knowing that you were on a journey to save Earth again? I just feel like this guy exists as less of a serious thing and more of a focus for younger audience members that need entertainment. Like a comic, cartoonish guy. The way that this Space Fireflies thing is handled is just dumb. First off, the crew is dumb enough to think that they are really Fireflies, or a number of them are anyway. 2, they all disobey a standing order not to bring them in. 3, some of them actually think they are radioactive particles, but wait until the ship is full of them to check if they are dangerous. Worst of all, first use of the time radar, which just feels like a shorthand for a proper investigation. Can't spend that much time on it, so easier just to have the crew see something directly. Except, as I said, the entire thing is a dumb setup to start with. Both of you stop it, says Analyzer. How about no? How about Saito stop? Kodai is the acting captain. As much bad as I had to say about his attitude in the first season, Kodai obviously, he's the one giving orders now. There is no both of you here. One of these two is on the other's ship, actively trying to cause a problem. Remember those sleep beds they claimed all the women were in the first season as an excuse as to where they'd gone. Send all those guys there. If we need them later, we'll wake them up, but they sure as hell can't be trusted on the journey. He's an unyielding man. No, I'm pretty sure Dessler was floating in space because of his yielding and self-destructing. At least, that's what the clip seemed to imply. Can't show a person offing themselves and then claim that they were unyielding. If the space fireflies are bacteria eating metal, why didn't they just eat through the outer hull of the Yamato? Also, did Analyzer collect all the bacteria? Otherwise, the ship should still be coated with it, eating away. Additionally, is it some sort of strange non-reproducing bacteria? Because typically, if it's going to consume something, it's using the energy created for something, like mitosis. So the inside of the ship should be filled with the stuff. And my last note, another thing about this episode that sucks, Gammaless bombers come in to attack the Yamato. They are flying at speed, horizontal over the Yamato, and they drop bombs on the ship. So space doesn't have inherent gravity. The moment they let go of the bombs should maintain speed and trajectory from the momentum granted to them by the bomber. Meaning they should just continue coasting straight ahead, not straight down. Additionally, the show has made it a plot point that the Yamato doesn't have gravity at the moment, due to the bacteria, which is a dumbass sentence now I'm saying that out loud. They went out of their way to show us stuff is floating around, and that's why this fight is more difficult. But then just applied gravity to the attack anyway. You got a plane going like this, right? You drop bombs, they fall down because of gravity. With no gravity, you drop a bomb, you let go of the bomb, it's moving with you, you go away, the thing is going to keep going this way. So, Yamato here, plane here, fighter jet, whatever you want. Yamato here, fighter jet here, bombs keeps going. You don't drop bombs. You would want to go straight down at it, drop it, go away, and then the bomb will continue that way. Well, we saw them, so we saw them go that way. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, yeah, this was a dumb setup, but thankfully the fight didn't happen here, so that if we want to see an actual Dessler fight, we can see that independent of this. Anyway, as I said, we do have a comment. As always, we got Kellen Winslow. Really enjoying this and your and Lessons Gundam and Legend of the Galactic Hero reactions data. It's definitely something to look forward to after work, etc. Your point about the Yamato having rookies is a good one. Even the lesser crew members should be pretty experienced by now, unless a complete newbie joined them, but I don't think that was mentioned as being the case. It was probably just done for comedic effect, maybe, I'm not sure. Again, where the fuck would a rookie have come from? They didn't advertise that they were about to steal the Yamato. Yes, I agree with you about the whole bride stuff on Earth in episode 10. I really liked the military scenes. I should have been specific on that. And yeah, the asteroid stuff, I don't like how it's done. I just like the fact that if they take damage, they have some kind of excuse for still being in good shape next episode. So episode 10 isn't great. Everything you said I agreed with. There are just certain things I liked. All in the Family Meathead, aka Rob Reiner. Don't think about that, but maybe it's fitting for Saito. I don't know, I think Saito is probably just a younger Archie. Yeah, Dessler's disappearing a ship from the original show is funny. This is a point that comes up in 2199, but how many times has he been killed? It's almost comical, but everyone liked him, so he gets brought back. At least they showed him being brought back to life this time. That's something they didn't do in the movie, even though he should have been blown to bits, but it is what it is. Ships falling from ceilings. Now I can't just stop thinking about that. LOL. I picture Nerve headquarters in Evangelion as the Geo font falls on top of them. And I don't actually remember that much about Evangelion. I watched it the one time. I think I watched maybe some of the new thing when it came out. Again, I watched Ra's Aphon more than I watched Evangelion. You know, I should have almost have a show about Sonata. You know, I could almost have a show about Sonata. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. I don't know if I said that deck in Season 1 myself. He's definitely more interesting of a character. Frankly, he should be in charge, at least until Kodai improves some more. He's improved from Season 1 anyway, as per my notes. Time Radar, interesting. Don't know what to say about that. And Space Fireflies. Now we are really veering off from the movie. It makes me wonder if it's at this point where the show becomes its own separate thing. We are almost at the halfway point, and I still don't know if I like it better than the movie. I don't. I don't at all. Hopefully they do something better with Dessler. Because if they do something better with Dessler, I'll like it more, but the movie was so succinct that I didn't have any of the problems I'm having here. I had different concerns, but I think all of that paid off at the ending. And the Yakia thing, again, I liked a bit of Kodai and Yuki's relationship in the movie, and then definitely the ending. they're making Saito so fucking unlikable, and they didn't do that in the movie. Saito was like, I'm here, vanishes for most of the movie, comes back at the end, where he becomes a bulwark against the Empire guys coming into the room. He's just a guy who's there to sacrifice himself. Like, the show is ruining what good faith I had in the movie. I will say that in spite of writing flaws, the show still looks pretty good for the 70s. Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I was going to think about that for a second, but definitely. I mean, compare that to 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam. I'd say this looks probably, in a lot of places, better than Gundam. Kind of a standard episode. I agree that this season isn't quite as good as the original show. You can tell they were padding the show out in order to expand the film. I still like the show, but it hasn't justified being an entire show instead of a film to me. I mean, that goes to the previous thing from before. Here's my TED Talk outro. Thank you for your reaction again, LOL. Seriously, I just want to show my appreciation for you in lessons, which is something I find a lot of people don't always think about doing. So thanks. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I always said before that I appreciate longer comments, and definitely you're giving me what I asked for. Sometimes I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, oh god, my throat's tearing itself apart. And then I scroll back up after my notes section. I'm like, we've got a Kellen Winslow comment to get through, though. And obviously, when I'm doing my late night recordings, this is one of 1:40 a.m. I mean, technically late night, because I plan to also try and get this edited out real quick. Unfortunately, this is another time where, despite all best efforts, I have fallen behind on my own personal schedule. And I'm getting this recorded quite literally 12 hours before I have to post it. So this is the most recent me you're probably going to get in a reaction. But yeah, anyway, that was your comments. That was my notes. Nothing left to do but hop on in and see what we get from the actual fight.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I'll add slightly confusing thing, which you might recognize if you saw either the Patreon name of the episode or sometimes the YouTube ones. Phil Fisher used to jump in a lot to inform me that I had gotten the name wrong from one version of the show to the other, to Star Blazers, to this, to a bad translation. That even my own video files listed it as Deathlock Attacks, which I have to assume is Star Blazers? Because I usually go to like the IMDb for the listing of Space Battleship Yamato 2 episode titles. And they will also, for some reason, list Star Blazer titles. And in fact, if you go to the Space Battleship Yamato wiki, it also lists Deathlock Attacks. I think I just couldn't figure out what the actual name of the episode might have been, and just replaced Deathlock with Dessler and hope that it had the same title other than the name change. Go ahead, tell us what happened last time. By the way, if each one of those things was literally just a bacteria, they would have to be putting out the same amount of light as a 60-watt bulb to appear to be the size that they are. Not in my notes section, but it's shit that I look up on my own. Not all alloy, though. As you can see, the rest of the ship is still fine. They did not name him in the episode. I would have added him to the board otherwise. I like to think that changes complete meaning if you put a comma in there. The Yamato dies inside, comma, a hollow asteroid. See, definitely the scenes with the rookies here, the art style improves. But for what fucking reason? I don't wanna see the rookie have the best art style in the whole show. I wonder if Sonata still has explosive arm and legs. What bullshit do they pull out of their ass now? Are we legit just gonna have them win because the other guy's ship stopped working?
Yamato, 2500 宇宙キロ。まだ発射装置は動かんのか。ただいま。原因判明。鉄を食うバクテリアによって伝導体が食い破られている。
The shit that we spread.
自分で自分の首を絞めるとは。そう。発射。
Comic, why? And why is this happening on the Yamato? The Yamato was just swimming in it, and the Yamato's fine. I'm just more incensed because the gameless side. This is the last of the gameless people. The entirety of Yamato was already swarming with them. Sorry, I don't know what it is. Every time I sit down to record, my nose just gets so fucking itchy. I'm a doctor, not a technician. Is he filled with fireflies? Is that going to be the thing? And because they're actually bacteria, that's a thing that makes sense to somebody. Remember that this is bacteria that survives in deep space with no problem. Let me guess, the carrier's going to come back, and it's going to spread the fireflies to the rest of the gameless fleet too. I mean, it was stupid. I guess there's also the element that here in this version, Talon and Dessler aren't the last two of the gameless people left, because the rest of the guys aren't like robots. You'd think that they would be, because they've completely not addressed it at all. Again, the outside of Yamato was coated with the bacteria. Should be getting eaten up there. They brought a ton of it on the inside. Should be getting eaten up there. Nothing. Just nothing. It's fine.
はい、ミルの報告によりますと、この波同然のヤマトを相手に夢中になっておるとのこと。
わしがそれを承知したのだ。
お言葉ですが大抵、デスラ総統の勝手な振る舞いをこれ以上お見逃しになっては我が帝国のためにならぬと存じます。
サーベラ、何を恐れているのだ。我々はこの大宇宙の王道をまっしぐらに突き進んでいけばよいのだ。我々はあと150ガトランティス時間でテレザート聖域を通過いたします。今
What's that in human hours?
テレサを刺激するようなことにでもなれば。何度言えば
Are we worried about upsetting Teresa?
デスラーに任せておけ。サーベラー長官。
We were just blocking communications from Teresa. Why would we be worried about bothering her?
もはやこれ以上デスラーを放ってはおきません。そうです。私の意地にかけても。
I don't know what this is about either. She could have helped prevent Dessler get resurrected, but she didn't. I guess she would have gone up against the Emperor for that.
無限前方10キロに小惑星発見。ビデオパネルチェンジ。なんだこりゃ。まるでちくわだな。
It's like the Doomsday Machine from Star Trek.
島、あの空洞へ入り込めないか。ドック代わりにいいじゃないか。
ドック。なるほど。あそこなら敵の攻撃を防ぎやすい。行こう答え。早くホタルをかき落とさないとヤマトの外板が虫食いだらけになってしまう。
空洞の直径1キロ、奥行き約4キロ。
調査の必要があるな。真田さん、アナライザーの修理状況はどうですか？
70% ってとこだが、まあいいだろう。
加藤、アナライザーを連れて前方の小惑星を
Yeah, I was just saying, they're probably gonna take their time to figure out how to save Analyzer, and then whatever they do with Analyzer, they're gonna use on the ship.
大丈夫か？またいきなり暴れ出すんじゃないだろうな。
心配しないで加藤さん、もう治ったから。
Or not. Was Analyzer the inspiration for Canadians in South Park? Because he talks, head bopping off like that, just like the Canadians in South Park.
今のところ何もなさそうだ。
分かった。空洞の中を調べてくれ。
了解。
Okay, kind of like the Doomsday Machine in Star Trek, or the sandworm's stomach. Sandworm. Space worm? The Star Wars worm that eats the Millennium Falcon. I can't remember the name of it all of a sudden.
なかなか張り切ってるようじゃないか。
ドジを踏んだ後だからな。無理もないさ。
岩石組成安山岩結晶片岩マンガン。
おい、アナライザー。もういいだろう。ヤマトに帰ろうぜ。
まだまだここで頑張らなくちゃ俺の男が立たない。
勝手にしろ。
Can't remember my measurements so well.
これまでのデータではごくありふれた小惑星だな。危険はなさそうだ。
よし、島、微速前進。
了解。微速前進。
Okay. Sorry, he said micro Curie, and that rang a bell to me because I have taken some radioactive stuff before for the cancer shit, and I took it in millicurie. Microcurie would be even less than the dose that I took, so that should be more than safe. He kind of has this look of old Scooby-Doo cartoons, especially when we go to commercial and it gives them the little acoustic score.
外、ヤマトが空洞に入りました。よし、全艦発進。
I mean, it doesn't make a great dock. It makes a great place that you're just sitting in the middle of. That's all.
宇宙ボタルを除去する。総員直ちに船外作業に入れ。
It's like Battlestar Galactica meets a porno. This is what that soundtrack is like. Is that? Which is the Battlestar Galactica, and then wah 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 wah.
上の大掃除を思い出しますね。
バカ野郎、俺たちは掃除やるためにヤマトに乗ったんじゃねえんだ。
お掃除、お掃除、バリバリやろうね。
前方 7.5 宇宙キロに小惑星。
ヤマト
はホタルの手下に夢中と見えて何も気づいておりません。
全艦小惑星を包囲しろ。
Legitimately, his personal ship has a wave motion cannon. Just shoot the asteroid from the outside. They'll never see it coming to activate their defenses. I mean, it's not really a trap. They didn't plan for you guys to come here.
南部船外作業班を収容しろ。急げ。了解。
敵艦だわ。あ、後ろにも。空洞の出口も入り口も敵に塞がれています。
何？
Also, in any trap that you would fall into, you'd have to wonder why they didn't use their time radar to know it was coming.
補助エンジン始動。
補助エンジン始動。ダメだ。動かん。
メイン接続。
メイン接続。やめろ。無駄だ。補助エンジンも止めてエネルギーを蓄積した方がいい。
エンジン停止。
エンジン停止。
艦長代理、デスラーから入電です。
Also, you know, not for nothing, you have your own wave motion cannon, and can tell where the ships are.
私と君たちの戦いもいよいよこれで幕が下りる。もう奇跡は期待しても無駄だ。誇りを持って王者らしく死にたまえ。慎んで哀悼の意を表する。
Sorry, did you have Talon do that for you before? Back to the red drink.
乾杯。デスラー砲発射用意。
At least he's doing what I said before. Back to stupid rookie guy.
ヤマトは磁力線に捕まって進むことも戻ることもできないんだ。
メインエンジンでもダメなんですか？
そうだ。
メインエンジンよりでっかいエネルギーというと波動砲。
何？今なんて言った？新米。
いや、失礼しました。私新米なもんですから。
続きを言え。波動砲をどうするって？
いや、その波動砲を撃ったらその反動でバックできるかななんてアホらしい考えを。
それだ。
From what? You fire that forwards, you need something to push against.
波動砲だ。波動砲の発射準備をしろ。
真田さん。
波動砲発射の時にものすごい反動があるだろう。普通はその反動を重力アンカーで。
But what are you recoiling against?
そのアンカーを切ればヤマトは。どうしてこんなことに気づかなかったんだ。
デスラー砲エネルギー充填 70%。照準セット完了。目標小惑星。
はい。デスラーは。
And it's also the element in my eyes that, again, that Dessler was preparing to fire first, and yet they're going to do their thing no matter what, I assume, before them.
エネルギー充填 60%。波動砲へエネルギー回路接続。いいか、波動砲発射まであと10分だ。発射の指示と同時にこのレバーを思いっきり引くんだ。
I think we're like going well out of our way to try and give Rookie something to do. And so far, it's been pulling levers.
エネルギー充填 100%。デスラー砲発射90秒前。デスラー総統。水星帝国から直ちに帰還せよとの命令です。
What? In my moment of triumph?
がまた私の楽しみに水を差すおつもりかね。
いえ、この命令は大帝からのものです。
大帝から。
Is he going to respect the orders of the Emperor versus his own obsession? Are they going to knock themselves out? And Dessler's just going to be gone?
一体どうしてくれるんだ。うるさい。俺はいつもそうだ。対先行、対ショック防御。ほら、そこが空いてる。お前も用意しろ。発射30秒前。
Yeah, treat him Saito like a fucking toddler sometimes.
標準誤差プラスマイナス0。最終セーフティー解除。セーフティーロック解除。 気温粒子出力上昇。内圧限界へ。
発射40秒前。総員安全態勢に入れ。
I just noticed he tied a thing around his eyes because everyone else has their eyes.
発射10秒前です。総統。デスラー総統。水星帝国からの直接連絡です。
Hey Dessler, you remember when you did this to the wasn't it Domal?
我々の指示は見るからお伝えしたはず。直ちに作戦を中止して帰還してください。
サーベラー長官、ご冗談なら後にしていただきたい。私は今忙しい。
It's funny because this is literally what happened to him. What happened to Domal?
発射10秒前。
10、9、
Yamato would have been destroyed had Dessler not fucked with Domal.
4、3、
2、1。
発射。
発射。
So what? It just took a wave motion shot? Because they showed it being in the explosion. Because it pulled the explosion out with it. Which again, doesn't make any fucking sense. Because every other time it's fired the wave motion cannon, it didn't go flying backwards.
Yamato!
惑星ごと消し飛んでいたもの。
デスラー総統、あなたは大帝のご命令に背かれた。直ちに出頭しなければなりません。
呼ばれるまでもない。こっちから行く。私の作戦に散々水を差してくれたそのお礼をたっぷりと言うためにね。全艦反転せよ。
Yeah, Mill, did you not see I shot my own guy for being an idiot? It's bullshit. I know, we're supposed to root for the Yamato. Dessler's the bad guy. He's so fucking horrible and evil. I would like the Yamato to survive or die based on fucking reason. And less of this guy.
ご苦労だったな、新米。
真田先輩。
どうだい、具合は。
すいません、あんなことで目回しちゃって。
よくやってくれたよ。お前もこれで一人前だな。
とんでもない。まだまだ新米で。
これは俺からのプレゼントだ。心配するな。俺が作った無菌のホタルだよ。
Oh. I was gonna say that wouldn't make any fucking sense if he just like got everyone killed. I'm still wondering why the fuck that the Common Empire people were worried about upsetting Teresa. But again, it seems like they were fucking with Teresa the entire time.
とうとう来たな、古代。うん。来たんだ。俺たちは来たんだ。ついにヤマトの前にその全容を表した惑星テレザート。そこには謎の女性テレサが。
They did introduce the idea that this might be a trap. That Teresa sounded weird, like a recorded message or something. Yeah, here's where we finally get to use the cavalrymen, because there's that landed group, the general guy, on Teresa. Or Tereset, sorry. Yeah, no, I fucking hate these two episodes. They were the chance to bring back Dessler as a real villain, like Noonien Khan. Noonien Soong was the guy who made the data androids and everything. Whatever his name is, Khan from Star Trek. This is his return, his chance to get vengeance. He's obsessed. He's never going to let that go. He's disobeying the people around him. Perfect. Perfect motivation for an evil fucking bad guy that we're all supposed to hate. The wave motion cannon has never knocked the Yamato backwards with such force as to throw it through an asteroid, right? At the same time, they fire about the same time, right? Conceivably, there's nothing around the Yamato but space. Like, there's no substance for the kickback to happen. And not for nothing, the wave motion cannon is itself in the Yamato, inside of it. You get kickback and recoil from a gun because the gun you're holding, it's not part of your being. Even then, conceivably, if it was part of your arm, if you're like a Mega Man firing your Buster Cannon, that's the reason why Mega Man goes, his arm is being recoiled back. Ow. Sorry. Anyway, but imagine if it was your mouth was the cannon and your entire body was the thing firing it, which is what the Yamato is. And you're not in a gravity well. I don't know. Maybe I'm just completely fucking wrong about this. But when I'm trying to physics it out, I might be wrong about, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if I'm wrong about that aspect, because we use what has been done before. Every time they fire the wave motion cannon in the show, everyone in the ship didn't just suddenly go, fall backwards and everything as the Yamato flings themselves around, right? So, yeah. And I know, you could probably just go back to, oh, well, they still have whatever fucking coding they got activated last time they tried to get hit. Last time they tried to shoot Dessler's cannon at them. But they were inside the asteroid. They would have no fucking idea. And the fact that it didn't bounce back and hit him implies that that's not what was activated here. I don't know. Again, this is my problem. My problem is I root for the bad guys, not because they're bad or that I agree with what they're doing. I root for them because they have the most to lose. By which I mean, bad guys don't get plot armor. Anytime a bad guy shows up and they have even the inkling of story, they've got everything to lose. They are 5 days retirement. They are going to get married after this. They are every bad guy. So anytime that we get like subverted from a victory because of that, I just feel like that's bullshit, my man. That's bullshit. And I know it seems like I'm just shitting on Yamato now. I'm not. It's still a good show, especially compared to every other show that would have been out in its time frame. By which I mean sci-fi based anime in its time frame. This is still cutting edge shit. It's just I feel like the writing has dropped off. Like, they thought that they had something based on how successful the movie was and wanted to do something with that, but then they didn't have any money left for writing something new. So they're like, how can we stretch the fuck out of that movie? And that's what they did, and it's not working. Anyway, I'll come back with notes, and hopefully I'll be less angry at it when I write my notes. So, until then, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?